Hey guys, Scriptube here with another video, and one of the things that's really fun about when there's not a whole lot going on in the Star Wars community, and you're a content creator and you're thinking of things to discuss because it's fun and you like making videos. And so I actually value these times a lot because I look into things and I run into things that I wouldn't have thought of previously. And so this one's really fun and cool. This was published today, but it made me think of something because the headline is, watch the Substance director, Coralie Fargeat, is that how you pronounce it? Homemade Star Wars fan film. Made when the Oscar nominee was just 17, it combines Star Wars toys, music, and a lot of hard work. And I find this really cool. I remember when we were kids, my brother used to make stop motion stuff. In high school, we had a media application class where we made stop motion. I'm going to try and find that. I know I have the VHS tape somewhere. I don't have a VHS tape player. I'd have to figure out a way to get it off of the tape and digitized. I'm sure that can be done. There's probably a guy where I live that can do it. And we made this really funny story about, and it's got like G.I. Joes, and I don't even really remember totally what it's about, but it's very funny, and there's fighting in it, and we light one of the G.I. Joe's heads on fire. I think every kid did that. So, and I'm sure, some of you guys, I'm sure, did some funny things, funny little videos, especially if you're younger, with the technology, we've had the last while. It's even easier. When we were kids, we used literally handy cams, or we used, like full-blown VHS video cameras, heavy. So it's a just completely different world to now. So I'm sure most of you have done something like that, some sort of funny home video or whatever, not necessarily using toys and music and stuff. But I love this because I think all of us, even if we just played with our Star Wars toys as a kid, we imagine, this is a movie or this is a scene, right? Of course we did. But there's another side to this too that I find very interesting. So first of all, this is a really cute little movie. So what would The Empire Strike Back and Return of the Jedi look like if they were shorted to 14 total minutes and directed by Oscar-nominated filmmaker behind the Substance? You're about to find out. Letterboxd got its hands on a Star Wars fan film made by the writer and director of Substance, when she was 17 years old. It combines footage from the movie, stop-motion animation, and live-action actors, complete with homemade costumes, showing Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker and his rebel friends taking down the Death Star. 30 years ago, when I was 17 years old, I made a little Star Wars fan film. Fargeat wrote, using my family's camcorder, I animated my toys frame by frame and in stop motion, disguised my friends as Ewoks and Stormtroopers, and edited a VHS video recorder. It was such an amateur endeavor, but everything I loved about making films was already there. It was the place where I felt free, passionate, and alive, and able to fully express myself. After I made this little film that I knew that I wanted to be a director today, as I am nominated for Best Director, I can't help but remember this little film, Follow Your Dreams. And it's cute. It is. It's cute. In some ways, it's terrible. And I think it's all in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I think it's Spanish. It might be French, but I think it's Spanish. Anyways, very, very cute and lots of funny little things. And like the Jabba's palace with all the little action figures. It's great. And what's really cool about this too is that she loved Star Wars enough to make this, and that's not quite as common as nowadays people will make it out to be from the female side. There's a lot of girls that like Star Wars, but to like it to this extent was more rare, and I just think it's pretty cool. She edited in clips from the movies themselves, the briefing, and there's her and her friends on Endor. There's the 3PO. I mean, it's great. It truly is great. The Ewoks. I mean, the Stormtroopers look terrible, but I love it. It all looks pretty terrible, but I love it. I love all of it. Even to the final ending scene, and she used the light on her front yard. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But it made me think of something. Now, when The Acolyte was going to come out, There was a series of interviews, and one of the things that was really being pushed by the media was this idea that Leslye Headland was this huge Star Wars fan. And which is interesting because she specifically said she hired some writers that had absolutely no idea what Star Wars really even was, and that was somehow going to be a good thing. But she had made this big claim that she was this huge Star Wars fan, and I'm not saying she wasn't, but part of the claim was that, and this is from a New York Times article, for me to show you the New York Times article, I have to buy a subscription. I'm not buying one. So this is just the STM Perth, whatever this is, basically just quoting it. Leslye Headland has been telling Star Wars stories on screen since she was a teenager. Ostracized at school for being different, she retreated inward, making stop-motion films starring her action figures. I would like to see those. Because I watched The Acolyte, and The Acolyte was a very, very terrible show. And it really had nothing to do with Star Wars. And it had more to do with her own sort of... It was almost an allegory for her own life, and just used Star Wars for that. The only thing that was Star Wars about it was the lightsabers. Everything else was just weird, just kind of crummy drama. And so I would like to see these. I want to see proof that you were this huge Star Wars fan and made Star Wars stop motion movies with your action figures. Like this other director clearly did and put it out there. Now, is it possible that these videos have been lost in the shuffle? Sure. And does that automatically mean if I never see her stop motion films that I'm going to think she's not a Star Wars fan? No, it doesn't. She could very well have been a very big Star Wars fan. But based on what I saw on the show, I doubt it. This would go a long way in making me as a fan believe her, or maybe you as a fan believe her. When she found success as an adult in Hollywood, Headland helped create Russian Doll, the 2019 Netflix comedy starring Natasha Lyonne, and got the chance to create an actual Star Wars show. It was the realization of a lifelong dream, and a chance for humiliating failure on a galactic scale. Yeah, there you go. New York Times. So, you guys let me know in the comment section. Would this go a long way to helping us believe that this person cares about Star Wars? Because right now, and it's not even just her, I'm not even trying to pick on her. All these people that Kathleen Kennedy hired are all just her friends. None of them are Star Wars people. None of them. And the handful of guys that we do know that were big Star Wars fans have just completely caved and just do whatever Lucasfilm tells them to. And Filoni is just totally do as I'm told, and I'm gonna just keep my job regardless of how terrible the junk I put out is. Favreau, unfortunately, has fallen into that, I believe, as well. And they've prioritized marketing and money over the craft, which you didn't need to do with Star Wars. You could make money without... the money's going to come anyway. Like, focus on the craft. This isn't some new risky venture. I mean, it's become one now because they've buried it. But there's a lot of people within the writers group. You know, you remember the picture with Luke with the extra over face and all of these people that really didn't like Star Wars for what it was and just wanted to change it into something they would like rather than just continuing the goodness that it was. And Leslye strikes me as that one of those people as well. And I'm only saying that because of what we got. And for her to just break lore so brazenly when it came to Yoda and the Jedi and the Sith and all that stuff, and for her to just do that flippantly the way she did, makes me think she's not a fan. And that this claim that she made these stop-motion films starring her action figures, her Star Wars action figures, is a fraud. And it was just a thing that was said to make people think she was a fan. That's what it feels like to me, with all the evidence I'm seeing. So, all that to say, I thought this was a cool topic, something different to talk about today, with not a whole lot going on, something fun to talk about. I love the stop-motion movie from Coralie Fargeat. Fantastic. And I want to see the one from Leslye. I want to see it. I do. Sorry, that's just the way it is. You can say I'm rude or mean or whatever, or, I should just believe her or whatever, but I don't. So let me know in the comment section what you think, guys. If you like this content, please like, subscribe. Always helps the channel. Feel free to check out anything else on my channel. Have yourselves a really good day.